This is a very special day in the life and history of User Voice. What is unique about this organisation is it's dealing with the very people who know about why and how crimes have been committed. And I want to pay tribute to all of them for what they have done.
And the person responsible for setting up User Voice is award-winning social entrepreneur and ex-offender Mark Johnson.
I started the charity a few years ago. I wanted there to be something positive out there for people who wanted to stop committing crime. I also believe that it's only offenders themselves who can stop the cycle of reoffending.
Since its launch, User Voice has been involved in a large number of projects across the country. One of the first was helping to bring a group of disadvantaged youngsters into the heart of London.
You've got, House of Lords in the evening, a hotel which some of them have never been out of their council estates, never mind, to London, and never mind to actually walk into number 10 and stuff.
Now I'm behaving more. I think it was because of this opportunity.
I want to stay in lessons now. I want to do the right things for me to be able to learn.
This is what User Voice is all about. Giving marginalised people a voice to help build a better system. User Voice went to give evidence to the Home Affairs Select Committee on Crime Prevention. Adnan Mohammed was their spokesperson.
We're being talked at and not being talked to, and right now I know some of my friends and people that I've grown up with that have no idea that there's a Home Affairs Select Committee that's going on that's trying to solve these problems. So, why am I the only young person here?
Here is our challenge to you. You made a very valid point. We need to include you and we need to include young offenders. We want to get to the bottom of this.
So User Voice took up the challenge and started working closely with the Youth Justice Board. In an ambitious project, hundreds of young people who had offended were consulted across England.
You look down at me like I'm a youth offender, but you don't know what I've been through and you don't know my story.
We're people, we're not paperwork, and that's how they see it.
This youth project has been incredible. Really hard to reach group coming together and telling the decision makers how to help cut down crime.
And the results were amazing, as the final journey allowed these young offenders to pass their message straight to the decision makers.
One of our main schemes is Prison Council. We designed and delivered a pilot with its ultimate aim to help prisoners, staff and governors co-produce interventions that aid rehabilitation and improve the living conditions. Research continuously shows us that inclusion of service users in the design and implementation of projects creates effective and efficient reform for offenders.
I'm coming from Broadwater Farm. I was the hierarchy of one of the biggest men on the Broadwater Farm selling drugs for 15 years. Then the drugs game took away most of that because I started taking, and then I started armed robbery. I was a nasty piece of work. I was unemployable. No one would employ me.
Currently, nearly half of the 85,000 prisoners in England and Wales offend again within a year of release. And it costs an average of £38,000 per prisoner per year to keep them locked up.
Having a proper prison council election has been a phenomenally successful and very simple method of getting prisoners involved in trying to shape the community of which they're a part.
They've come in, they've given structure, they've put things together that we can work with, and it's helped us as people to communicate, work as a group.
User Voice prison councils have now been set up around the country, and there are plans for many more. All these projects are led by a growing team based in London, with offices in Birmingham, Yorkshire and Newcastle. The staff are ex-offenders.
My name's Gary Waller, I'm 31 years old. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. I was addicted to heroin by the time I was 13 years old in care. I know all the tricks, I've been there, I've done it, I've wore the t-shirt. I understand what they're going through because I've been through it myself.
Just like Mark, his team have been through the system and believe that it's only offenders themselves can stop the cycle of reoffending. Last summer, User Voice worked with London Probation to set up its own democratically elected council.
We've always known that the way forward has been to listen to what the people who are coming in through our doors say. The whole point of probation has been to sort of motivate and assist people to change their lives around. But you can't change people's lives if you're not offering them solutions that are going to work for them.
The team worked with 4 London boroughs, Tower Hamlets, Kingston and Richmond, Haringey and Greenwich, to help them set up democratically elected councils. In such a short time, User Voice is really making a difference.
I feel that my voice is heard, where it wasn't heard at all.
I think User Voice is really helpful because they understand me as a person.
If it wasn't for User Voice, I'd be selling drugs and doing something else. I'd be doing what I'm normally used to doing. User Voice gave me a chance to do something productive.
They're building some sort of trust in it, that's like they care. They want to rehabilitate instead of just lock our doors.
I'm happy to be working, and it's all down to User Voice. Thanks, User Voice.